Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me, because today we will be talking about my January TBR. So I do not plan to change how I do my TBRs in 2026. I plan to pick about 12 to 15 books that I will just kind of mood read from. I like to pick a smaller batch of books just so I'm not trying to mood read from my entire TBR list, because that would be very overwhelming. And so, yeah, there are no guarantees that I will get to these books. These are just some of the ones that are piquing my interest at the moment. So, also, we will sometimes talk video plans. That would just depend on how I'm feeling for that month, if I have plans or if it's something that I want to openly talk about. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get into the books. So I really want to do a reading vlog where I read 2025 releases that I just didn't get a chance to get to. Some of my most anticipated I just didn't get a chance to read because, I can only read so fast. And there was just so many 2025 releases. So the first one on that list is going to be Female Fantasy by Iman Hariri Kia, and this is described as a self-aware dive into the concept of genre and a wild, steamy romp. Most of all, though, it's a heartfelt love letter to romance readers everywhere, and basically we have a copywriter slash fanfic author who is, tired of dating these disappointing men because none of these men can stand up to her favorite book boyfriend. And she finds out from the author that her favorite book boyfriend, Reich, was based on a person that the author actually knew. So our main character decides to try and go find that person. And I'm just really excited to dive into this. I've read from the author before, and this just kind of sounds like my thing, The next 2025 release is going to be The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri, and I'm really excited to get to this one because this is a book about two lovers who endure centuries of endings, and it's a romanticy of sapphic longing, medieval folklore, and a love that spans lifetimes. And we will be following a witch and a knight, and this just sounds like I need to read it. Next is Sparks Fly by Zakia Jamal. I have ordered this book, but it came out at the end of the year, so I don't have it quite yet. But as soon as it touches my mailbox, I plan on picking it up. And this is about a late bloomer who thought a visit to a sex club might jumpstart her love life, but instead makes an instant connection that turns her whole world upside down. And all the tea. I need it all. This sounds like it's going to be so good and also kind of cute at the same time. Now, this one, I'm a little skeptical about it, and that's the reason why I have yet to pick it up. And that is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the second book in the Wicked Games series, the first one being Phantasma. And I really enjoyed Phantasma. I thought it was fun, all the good things. But this book is specifically following her sister Genevieve, and Genevieve just she was a little annoying to me in Phantasma, and so I'm just a little worried that she will not be my favorite main character because she was not my favorite side character. But there is hope yet, and I do want to catch up before the third book comes out, and I think that book has a 2026 release date, so I just want to be ready. We have An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole, and this is a modern day dark academia fantasy where we are at Warren University that has stood amongst the Ivy elite for centuries, built on the bones and forbidden magic of its most prized BIPOC students, hiding the rot of a secret society that will do anything to keep their own powers burning bright, no matter who they must sacrifice along the way. And I'm excited to read some Camilla Cole. I do have her duology that starts with So Let Them Burn, but I'm thinking, a standalone might be a good place to start. So That one I also ordered, and it came out at the end of December, so I don't have it yet, but I'm very excited because it looks like it's a pretty addition. So, we love that. Next up, we have Sweet Obsession by Katie Robert. This is the 8th book in the Dark Olympus series, and I just want to get a jump start on this series because I plan on finishing it this year, and so I wanted to start off making sure that I am making progress in it. And in this one, we are following Icarus and Poseidon. And that's pretty much all I can tell you about this. Each book follows a different couple, but there is a larger overarching plot to this series. And with this being the 8th book, I can't really tell you that, but these are just really spicy Greek myth retellings in modern day, and I have fun with it. And last in this little category, we have Fallen Gods by Rachel Van Dyken. And this is a Norse mythology retelling that has high stakes enemies to lovers, a dangerous mission, romantic tension. The tagline says, "They said the gods were myth, that the giants were only stories told around dying fires. They lied. The gods aren't dead, they're only sleeping, locked in mortal bodies, scattered across the world, waiting for the right spark to wake them. And my Father is the most ruthless of them all. He raised me to obey, to bleed, to be his blade when the time came, and now he's sending me to Endir, one of those, university, a place filled with ancient bloodlines and deadly secrets, to steal back Jonir. I can't pronounce that. That's a Norse word, I think. I don't know, friend. The hammer of legend. If I fail, everyone I love dies." So I kind of feel like reading some witchy books. I need a little bit of comfort, and I find those in witchy books. So I want to do a witchy reading vlog, and the first book that is in consideration for that is Witches of Dubious Origin by Jen McKinley. And this says, Zoe enjoys a quiet life working as a librarian in her quaint New England town. When a mysterious black book with an unbreakable latch is delivered to the library, Zoe has a strange feeling the tome is somehow calling to her. She decides to consult the Museum of Literature, home to volumes of indecipherable secrets, some possessing dark magic that must be guarded. With assistance from the eccentric staff of the Books of Dubious Origin department, including their annoyingly smart and handsome containment specialist, Jasper, Zoe must confront her past and the legacy of her family. But as their adventure unfolds, she'll have to decide whether or not she's ready to embrace her destiny. Bookish and witchy? Say less. Then we have the Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells, and I have actually already started this one, so it will for sure be in the vlog. And in this one, it says that there is an old tale woven through the mountain town of Woodsmoke about a stranger who appears as the first snow falls in winter and disappears without a trace as the frost thaws in spring, leaving a broken heart behind. And we have Carrie, who ran away from Woodsmoke 10 years ago, and the decision has haunted her ever since. But when Carrie's grandmother dies and leaves behind a dilapidated cottage, she returns to renovate, certain she will only be there for one winter. As the temperature dips, she meets Matthew, a newcomer who offers to help refurbish the cottage. Before long, and despite warnings of the old stories from her great aunt Cora, Carrie finds herself falling for the charming stranger. And there's some things that happen after that, of course. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one as well. Our next witchy book is also a 2025 release that I did not get a chance to get to, and that is An Unlikely Coven by A.M. Kavita, and this is a cozy fantasy. We'll be following Joan Greenwood, who is coming home after 7 years. Unfortunately, her family totally forgot about it. Overshadowing her return is the news that someone has created a spell that can turn an ordinary human into a powerful witch, threatening the Greenwoods' place at the top of the magical world. When her best friend confesses that he has secretly, accidentally kidnapped this human turned witch, Joan is thrust headfirst into a desperate race against her family to undo the spell before it does permanent damage to its unwilling host. And I'm very excited to get into this cozy fantasy. It just seems like it's going to be a good time. The last witchy book that I'm considering is Debate and Decadence by Sula Sullivan. And this is described as Charmed meets Pride and Prejudice. We have Grumpy Sunshine, Fated Mates, and Forced Proximity. And like any good mysterious witch, Amaya seldom ventures further than the woods that surround her cottage. She fills her days with foraging, spell testing, and reading. Amaya would happily spend all her days and nights curled up with a steaming mug of tea or playing her harp. Anything would be preferable to trying to contain Rue, the chaotic runaway bride who suddenly appears on her doorstep insisting they're fated mates. Rue is determined to take charge of her life and by extension Amaya's. She is convinced all she has to do is miss her own wedding, learn how to cook a decent stew, and show Amaya what fate has in store. And this is also supposed to be like a really cute, cozy, sapphic fantasy, and I am just here for all of those vibes. So our last category that I'm considering is just going to be mood reads. A lot of them are carryovers from the last couple of months that I just haven't had a chance to get to, that are still at the top of my list, and then we have some newer ones sprinkled into that as well. So if you've seen some of the books in TBRs before, I'm just gonna fly through them kind of quickly, and then we'll go a little more into depth about the newer ones that I've added. So the first book is a carryover, and that is Silver Under Nightfall by Ren Shipeko. I had every intention to get to this in December, and I did not, so I definitely want to make sure that I try to get to this in January. I'm really excited to read this. I think we have polyamorous vampires in this, and I'm just, I need to know. Another carryover is Merciless Saviors by H.E. Edgman. This is the last / second book in the Ouroboros duology that started with Godly Heathens, and I just really want to close out this series and finish it up because I really enjoy Godly Heathens and I don't want to wait so long that I forget everything. And this isn't necessarily a carryover, but it is a TBR vet and it has seen so many TBRs. And that is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. This is the third book in the All Souls series, and I just am hopefully going to finish up this series or at least catch up in 2026. So again, just wanted to go ahead and start off on the right foot, making progress. I don't know if this has been on any previous TBRs. I can't quite remember, probably so, but I don't know. And that is The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashim. And this is an unmissable tale of shattered kingdoms, forbidden magic, and cunning royals. And it's Egyptian inspired. So I am very excited to get into this. 10 years ago, the kingdom of Jasad burned. Its magic was outlawed, its royal family murdered. At least that's what Sylvia wants people to believe. The heir of Jasad escaped the massacre, and she intends to stay hidden, especially from the armies of Nizal that continue to hunt her people. But a moment of anger changes everything when Aaron, the Nizal heir, tracks a group of Jasadi rebels to her village. Sylvia accidentally reveals her magic and captures his attention. Now Sylvia is forced to make a deal with her greatest enemy, help him hunt the rebels in exchange for her life. A deadly game begins. Sylvia can't let Aaron know her identity, even as hatred shifts into something more between the heirs. And as the tides change around her, Sylvia will have to choose between the life she wants and the one she abandoned. Yeah, this is for sure a TBR vet. I have put this on many a TBR and I'm hoping that this is the last one because I will be able to read it this month, and that is Living Legend by Ali Shante. And this is a romantasy where we follow Dani, who has been groomed by Lilith herself. She has long been spreading horror in the murk of purgatory. She never asked to be summoned to Heaven's Gate and never expected to be charged with the stubbornly attractive angel Nicholas as her partner. Though with a face like his to look at, Dani isn't about to complain. The lines between good and evil are shifting. Dani discovers that lurking in her familiar darkness as secrets she would have never guessed at and doesn't understand. Now she must ask herself, who is a demon supposed to trust? The concept of angels and demons has been something that I've really been getting into, and so I really want to read this as soon as possible. A newer addition to the TBR is, well, not to my physical TBR, but to TBR videos that I have been making, and that is The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. And this is the first in a series. In the dark underbelly of a beautiful city, two rival gang members are pitted against each other in a deadly game of duty and revenge, in which the most dangerous mistake is falling in love. Okay, so we have shade magic, cloaks, and the daggers. And yeah, this is going to be interesting for me. I don't think I've read anything involving gang members. And I also want to go ahead and read this because the sequel is out and I need to know if I need to get my hands on it or not. So yeah, I think this is young adult, new adult, something like that. But yeah, we'll see what I think. And lastly, we have another 2025 release that I am needing to get to know if I want to get the sequel that's coming out in 2026, and that is Silver Elite by Dani Francis. I think that the hype has finally died down, so I can kind of read this without other people's reviews and thoughts swirling around in my head. And I don't think anyone needs to know what this is about, but in the first book of a sizzling dystopian romance series, psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. Wren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her physical abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Wren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy and she's forced to join Silverblock, their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Cool. I love a rebellion. And I have heard a lot of mixed things about this. So I'm kind of excited to see which side I will fall on and what I think about this book. And that, my friends, is my January TBR. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Anything that you do to support me and my channel, I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.